So this demo, before that, a quick formal introduction on mine. My name is Mohammed Shoaib. I'm a cybersecurity trainer certified from PC Council, and I teach courses such as certified ethical hacking, web application pen testing, SOC analysis, security operations center analysis. These are all the common courses that are from basic to advanced level in the cybersecurity domain. So our demo today is on certified ethical hacking, the very foundational course for people who are completely new to the field of cybersecurity or planning on joining or getting started with cybersecurity. So before we discuss this demo, there's a few clarifications that I would want to clear out because people usually confuse between the words hacking and ethical hacking. So they think they are one and the same. So the course is trying to make you a certified ethical hacker, okay, rather than a hacker. So what is the difference between a hacker and an ethical hacker, and how are these two terms different? Is what we need to first understand. So when we talk about hacking, this is the procedure of trying to gain access to information systems. Okay, these information systems could be anything. They could be as small as a mobile phone to as big as a web application server or a database as well. And this is done without the permission or the knowledge of the person owning these systems. Okay, so this is performed by hackers for their own benefit. So once they get access to these devices, they can steal the data or destroy the data or sell it on the dark web. On the other hand, when we talk about ethical hacking, this is a procedure of trying to find vulnerabilities. Okay, so vulnerability is nothing but a flaw or a loophole in the information systems. Now, these are the same flaws or the loopholes that hackers try to exploit or take advantage of. So, your job as an ethical hacker would be to try to find these loopholes and try to rectify them or try to remove them by giving or applying the appropriate patches. So, your job is to take consent of the organization and start performing something called penetration testing, which is nothing but trying to attack the target system and check for any vulnerabilities. Okay, if there are any vulnerabilities, we report them back and they are patched up. So thereby, rather than causing any harm, we're trying to increase the security of the organization, but following the same techniques as a hacker. Is this clear? Sujita, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir, I
Yes, sir,
can
you
hear
are
you.
audible.
Perfect, perfect, guys. So now, depending on these two terms, we can categorize the various types of hackers. You might already know that there's someone known as there's someone known as a hacker, and there's someone known as ethical hacker. So hackers are usually termed as cyber criminals or black hat hackers. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the ethical hackers, which are also known as the white hat hackers. So again, in between there's a gray area, who called as gray hat hackers. Now these people have both the qualities of a black hat as well as a white hat hacker. Okay. So like a black hat hacker, they don't ask for permission, excuse me. But like a white hat hacker, once they find a vulnerability, they report it back. Okay. But they obviously don't do that for free. They do it for a bounty. Okay. That bounty could be like a money reward or a reputational reward to benefit their career or anything that benefits them financially. Okay. So these people are hence also known as bug bounty hunters. Now these are the professional types of hackers, whether it be a black hat, gray hat, or a white hat hacker. All these three types of hackers perform hacking or ethical hacking in a certified number of steps. Okay. Again, various organizations categorize these steps into various numbers, but if I had to sum it up, there are five important steps. And collectively, these five steps are known as the hacking cycle or cyber kill chain. So our whole course of certified ethical hacking is going to be revolving around these five steps only. Okay. So the first step is known as information gathering. It can also be called as reconnaissance or footprinting. Second step is known as scanning, which can also be called as enumeration. Third step is gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. And the last step is reporting or clearing traces. The reason why I've specifically mentioned all over here is because that is where it makes all the difference between a black hat hacker and a white hat hacker. Okay, so if it were a white hat hacker or an ethical hacker, you try to report all the steps taken. So whatever vulnerabilities were found and how to patch them up, everything is a report is generated for all those details and given to the organization. If you're a black hat hacker, obviously you won't let the company know that you're performing hacking. So what you try to do is you try to cause the harm and then remove all the evidences, which is nothing but clearing traces. Okay, so we'll be learning both the techniques of hacking as well as ethical hacking and how to prevent this hacking or the black hat hacking as well. Okay, so Let's discuss about each of these steps one by one in brief so that you have a clear picture of what is discussed in the course. Yeah, Yash, you have raised a hand. Any questions or
Yeah, yeah, sir. Actually, I have one question. Actually, one of my friend is working in a cyber security. Okay,
right?
so but his work is quite different. What he
Mhm.
do get some kind of report, and he needs to
Okay.
provide the security. Means he do need to provide the solution of the attacks. So, are we going to
Mhm.
learn the solution also?
Yeah, definitely.
Means how we
So
can
that is
protect?
those are also known as remediations. Okay. So usually a report is
Yeah.
given to him from a vulnerability scanning tool. And in that report itself, sometimes a solution is mentioned. If not, we try to understand what the solution for that is. We try to do our research and try to figure out the solutions for each and every one that we do. 90% of the time, the solution would be to remove the misconfigurations or to remove or to update the patch for the vulnerability, the published exploit. So that is how we try to understand the solutions for each and every one that we do. Again, that is covered in the vulnerability scanning topic, where I show you specifically how to generate that report, and from that report, how do you try to figure out the solutions as well. Is
Yeah.
that clear? Yes. Yeah, definitely. Now, proceeding further, let's understand about each of these steps one by one. So, the first step is information gathering, and as the name suggests itself, the step requires us to try to gather information about the target passively. What I mean by passively now is that we try to get this information from third party sources. Rather than contacting the organization directly, we try to get this information from the internet. Okay. Now, what kind of information are we talking about over here? The information is as follows. So you try to get the information such as the IP address information or the range of IP addresses used by the servers of the organization, the whois records, the DNS records, the employee details such as their contact numbers or the email addresses or their publicly leaked usernames and passwords and so on. So all this information is readily available for you to gather from the internet. So if I give you a very brief example, I can try to gather the email addresses of any organization from a simple website called hunter.io. So this is a very well-known website among the penetration testers or ethical hackers as well. So you can search for any domain over here, let's say flipkart.com or Wipro or anything, your choice. So if you go with the what do you say, software company, you can go with Wipro or Infosys or whatever of your choice, and you can notice this is displaying as all the email addresses of the working employees of Wipro.com. This information can be used by a hacker or an ethical hacker to perform phishing attacks or perform pen testing. Okay. Now, again, this is not freely available. You have to create an account in this website and then try to gather it. So we'll be learning those techniques. So similarly, there's other advanced websites as well for getting all that extra information from the internet. Now, when I'm trying to get this information, Wipro has no clue that someone is trying to get this information about it. Okay. So similarly, after all this information is gained passively from other websites, then we go with the next phase called scan. Now, in scanning, whatever information we could not get in the information gathering phase, we try to get it by making active connections with the target. So we try to use some advanced tools called Nmap and this is vulnerability scanning tool. And with these extra tools that are used, we try to get that extra information. So again, scanning is subcategorized into three parts. There's something called network scanning, and then port scanning, and finally vulnerability scanning. In network scanning, you try to figure out on the target system what all active, on the target network in the organization, what all systems are active. So, what are the devices active, what servers are active, what firewalls or routers or switches, or any networking device for that matter, what all devices are up and running in a network. On those devices, you try to figure out what ports are open, and that is known as port scan. Once you know what ports are open and what services are running on those ports, you then finally perform vulnerability scanning to figure out on those ports and on those services, are there any weaknesses which an attacker can try to exploit? Okay. Once the weaknesses are found, then you try to attack on them. And that is nothing but the gaining access part. Okay. Again, gaining access is a huge concept. It covers a vast variety of topics. And these are as follows. Okay. So firstly, we try to figure out what is system hacking and gaining access. So in system hacking, we try to learn how to crack or bypass a Windows operating system password. So whether that be Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 8.1 or Windows 10 as well, the latest one. So we try to figure out how do you crack that Windows operating system password, or if you're unable to crack it, if it's a tough password, how do you bypass it and get access to the internal files? Then comes malwares. Well, malwares are nothing but malicious softwares, and there's various categories in them. There's viruses, worms, trojans, spyware, rootkit, whatnot. Okay, so we practically understand how to create each of these malwares, or how do hackers develop them, and how do you prevent yourself from getting attacked by these malwares. So both the attack methods as well as the defense methods. Okay. Then there's a bonus concept called malwares advanced. Now this is not included in the CH curriculum from EC Council. DurgaSoft has added this so that you have a better understanding of how to develop or create malwares in any programming language. Okay. So basically in this I'll be sharing the resources for you to develop your own malwares using the Python 3 program. Again, you don't need to learn Python anywhere from separate sources. Those will be included in the resources directly. After that, there's network penetration testing, where you're going to learn all the common network attacks. So that's sniffing attacks, man in the middle attack, or denial of service attacks, or hacking Wi-Fi routers. It might sound very technical, guys, but these are the attacks that happen in real-time scenarios in a local network, or even in a public network as well. Okay. So, man in the middle attack is where attackers can try to capture your usernames and passwords when they're in your same network. DOS attack is where a hacker can try to shut down the server or deny access to the server, deny access to websites. So those are the practical attacks that we'll look in our coming sessions during the classes. Then there's social engineering, where we try to create fake login pages. So how do hackers create phishing attacks or smishing attacks, and how to create fake login pages or replica login pages and get the usernames and passwords of other victims. How do you do that? Is what we learn in social engineering. Then finally comes web application pen testing, where we learn a few common vulnerabilities in websites. Okay, so how do hackers deface websites, or how do hackers hack into databases and get the usernames and passwords of users, or how to perform cross-site scripting attacks and get the complete remote connection of a target victim's browser. All that comes in the web application pen testing. Then finally comes hacking mobile phones, where I show you how to perform Android pen testing, how to create malwares for Androids and send them to Android phones and remotely get their connection. So after gaining access is done, then we have maintaining access, where we try to figure out how to maintain a persistent connection. So even if the user restarts the system or shuts it down and starts it after a very long time, how do you maintain that connection and attack the target still? Finally comes the reporting or clearing traces, where I'll show you how you can generate a report or how you can clear the evidences or remove all the evidences as well. Okay. So, and before we dive into all these advanced concepts, since not everyone could be from the computer science background, they also have a few prerequisites included in the course. So basically, for the first 2, 3 classes, we'll be discussing very basic introductory concepts, such as what is virtualization, what is networking, what are Linux commands, and what Windows commands, and then we dive into the advanced concepts. Okay, because these are a few required concepts for ethical hacking or cybersecurity. So basically, learn all this. Okay. So I'll show you how to generate a lab setup or create a lab setup in your own device, and then understand the networking concepts and Linux commands, and then dive into the whole hacking cycle concepts. Okay. Linux is very important because we're using a separate operating system called Kali Linux for that. Okay, which we'll be downloading from the internet, and this is the resource for that official website of kali.org. Okay. So yeah, that's that, guys. Nothing more to take up for the demo session. A very short and brief demo for you to understand what are the topics that are covered in the course. And the whole course duration is for 35 days, where from Monday to Friday we will have a session for 1 hour every day. And I guess you already know the course fees. It's around 8,000. Okay. And again, trust me, that's the lowest price that any institute can offer. I teach for a couple other institutes as well, where they are charging a lot more compared to DurgaSoft for the same course content. And one more thing with DurgaSoft is you get all the video recordings. Okay. So all the sessions that we take are recorded and uploaded to the drive, which you can access whenever you want, 24/7. So there's recording support, there is a backup support, there is, again, you'll have to pay a number of the instructor as long as possible. And until I again change my number or anything, I will update that number as well to all students. But anyways, you have the direct contact with the instructor, and you can resolve your questions or queries over the weekends as well. I am still available. So yeah, that's that, guys. Any other queries on your end before I uh, end the session?
I just have one question. I remember I told you I am using Linux.
Right,
So
right, yes, yeah.
should I install Windows, or is it okay to go with Linux?
The most of the applications that I'll be sharing are Windows compatible, yes. So if there is a possibility, you could try to install the Windows. If not, I guess you're using Ubuntu Linux, if I'm not wrong. You could install
Ubuntu.
VirtualBox for that.
Yeah,
VirtualBox is
I
a
do
free
have
tool which you can.
VirtualBox. In that I am using Windows.
Yeah, definitely. That should also be sufficient. You can install Kali as well in VirtualBox and go ahead with the sessions. Not an issue.
Okay.
Sure. Any questions on your end, Sajita, since this is your first session?
So for this, one should I'm coming from a non-technical background, so uh, like non-technical in the sense don't have a networking sort of any of the backgrounds.
No
So
problem, Sajita. So as I've mentioned, for people who are coming from non-technical background, we have these introductory classes. The first 2, 3 classes, we learn all the technical details that are required for this ethical hacking course, like basic networking concepts, Linux commands, Windows commands, and that should be sufficient. So just in case, if people are from technical background, they might already have knowledge on that. If not, even then, not a problem at all. We'll first cover those topics which are required. The prerequisites are included in the course, and after that, we dive into the advanced topics. So not an issue at all, even if you belong to non-technical background. Usually other institutes don't do that. They directly dive into the advanced concepts. But since again, cybersecurity is a field which has a lot of scope right now, and people from non-technical background are also shifting to this one. I've taught students who are from mechanical and EC background as well. So definitely not an issue at all.
okay, yeah. So and
Sure.
the duration is 1 month or how is it?
It's
Totally.
supposed to be 1 month, but with a grace period of here and there of 5 to 10 days, you can assume it as 40 days. So again we'll have classes from Monday to Friday every day for 1 hour. So in total it's going to be 30 to 35 hours.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sure. So tomorrow will be the first class for networking, guys. So please do not miss out the session. Tomorrow will be starting the batch at 6 o'clock for basic networking concepts. So if you have not registered, please do register with DurgaSoft and you can join tomorrow's first class on basic networking concepts. We learn what IP addresses are, what is IPv4 address, what is IPv6 address, and all that in tomorrow's session. So yeah, that's that, guys. Nothing more to discuss further anymore. I'll see you tomorrow if you're planning on continuing. So I hope you liked the session, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so sorry for class timings. Yeah, Mohammed, as I've mentioned, 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Yeah, okay, guys. So yeah, that's it, guys. Nothing further to discuss. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.